Right then, we are back on. I say back on because obviously last week I wasn't using the green screen and all that. We've got Peter in the chat. Hi there. He is always first. Like, I don't know for how many weeks he's been first, but for a long time he's been first. I think it might have been someone a few weeks ago who jumped in there before him, but most weeks he's first. Andy Robinson has jumped in. Hi there. Muck Digger Marcus. Made it for the first time before ads. Yeah, I know I usually do jump on here early, although I am a little bit later today. Normally I'd get on 10 minutes early. Today I'm only 4 minutes early, so yeah. We've got Sib K, Sybil Shepherd. Is that the same name as last week, Sib K? Hi there. We've got... oh no, that's everyone now. So if you have... any questions, as always, put them in the chat. I have got a very quick topic I want to discuss, but other than that, nothing special really. So yeah, if you have any questions, just as usual, feel free to whack them in the chat. We've got Leslie in the chat, hi there. We've got Kirsten in the chat, hi to you. So first off, I'll start with a topic, so then I don't get into one of those rambles about something else. So I'll do the topic. Then I can start rambling about something else if we want to go on to ramble about something else. Be in soon, still out, Peter says. That's okay, I'll watch out for you in the chat. So I've had to read it off the screen again, but if you don't enjoy it, try something new. You might be thinking, well, what does that mean? Sib K says, are you insinuating that I've run out of clever names? Maybe I might be. I don't know. Yeah, come on. You got to up your game a little bit. Is it the same name? I bet it's the same name, isn't it? No, you got to think. No. See, I can't think because I'm quite creative, but I'm only creative when I want to be creative. Like, when I kind of am in certain situations, I can't like force creativity out of myself, if that makes sense. But no, I'm trying to think, like, Sib... no, you have done quite a few, so I'll give you that. Muck Digger Marcus says, when you starting to purchase for Q4 ads? I started purchasing for Q4 last October. That's like last September or last October I started purchasing. I did a big purchase in December of last year, basically just reinvesting my profits. And then that's just been sitting in the spare room ready for this Q4. And then, you know, around sort of October to December time this year, I'll start stockpiling for next year. And I used to start in January, February. But now I've just thought, you know what, I may as well just start as early as I can. So if it's like, you might be thinking, well, why didn't I just send it up? You know, when I bought something in October, why didn't I just sell it in that Q4? Well, the reason is most of the stuff I was buying was Lego for investment for the following year. So I'd buy it quite cheap on sales or things like that in sort of October through to December and even further on into this year. And then what I would do is wait for the price to go up because of a set retiring and then sell it the following Q4. So I made a few good investments last year that have now, once I actually checked the price the other day, now I've realised turned out to be good investments. There's a couple that I've not made good decisions on, as always, like any investor, you know, if an investor says to you, like, oh, every decision I made in my investing career was great, you should not believe that person, because there is, in any investor or reseller's career, there's always going to be something that went wrong, something that didn't work out correctly. So I've had a few that worked, a few that didn't, but come this time, well, not this time next year, but come this Q4, the ones that I did make a good choice on, they'll go up, they'll make me fantastic profit, along with the ones that didn't, and then I might just get my money out of them, I might make a couple of quid on each one or whatever, and that's that, and then I'll just do it again for the following year. So I'm kind of, with my Q4 kind of mentality now, I'm kind of like an investor slash reseller at the moment with items I'm sort of picking out for Q4. But it's so hard to see, you know, it's so hard to see a year out these days, you know, with Amazon and stuff. I realistically do not know whether I'm going to be selling on Amazon this time next year or in Q4 of next year. Not necessarily on Amazon as a whole, because obviously I've started up doing Amazon merch now, but in terms of like Amazon FBA, I don't know. I might pull out. I mean, I'm seriously considering maybe after this Q4 thinking I might pull out of Amazon FBA. And it's something I've been thinking for a while. Not necessarily because I don't think it's a great platform. I think it's brilliant. But I just can't seem to get the stock for it anymore. I can get loads of stock for it for Q4. But like the rest of the year, I'm finding it very, very hard to find sealed stuff. Yes, I could go down the route of doing video games again, but then again, if I'm buying video games off eBay, I'm working on slimmer margins, it's a higher investment up front. So I'm like, I don't really want to go down that route. I'd rather have a business that turns over less on an annual, on an annual basis, but that I have a far less cost of goods and other fees and stuff like that, because Amazon fees are massive. So if I take Amazon fees out, if I take the Amazon cost of goods out and all of the storage fees and everything, yes, I'll have a business that actually turns over less, but my profit will probably be the same, but might actually be higher because of those cost of goods and those Amazon fees and the storage fees and all this. So yeah, it's something I'm thinking of, and I probably will still be selling on Amazon, but if I'm selling on Amazon, it might be like Amazon merch or something like that. So you've got to always be thinking about, you've got to evolve with your business and the landscape that the things that you can see that's changing in the landscape. For me personally, I can't see that I'm getting as many sealed items for FBA this year as I did last year. So I could do one or two things. I could go on eBay and I could pay up, I could pay up for items if I really wanted to continue Amazon FBA, and then send them in and still make decent profit, but it's a higher cost of goods. It's, you've got to build an inventory back up again, and all these things that I'm saying, you can see in the sort of tone of my voice, I'm not 100% infused about doing Amazon FBA. Therefore, I'm already giving it a negative connotation, let's say. So, whereas someone who really wanted to do Amazon FBA, they're just going to make it work no matter what. I'll just make it work. I'll go out there, I'll work harder. And that's not what, I've not got the same level of enthusiasm for FBA as I once had. So, I love it, I love the platform, but I just think if I've not got that same level of enthusiasm, or I really don't want to give it 100% to actually go out there and get all that stock that I need and sort everything out, it just seems, why should I try and force myself to go down that route of business? It's got to be about enjoyment, and that obviously leads on to the topic of today. And I think, with Amazon merch, I absolutely love what I'm doing with Amazon merch at the moment. I'm not making much money at all with it, but I've only been doing it like 3.5 weeks, so it's not anything major. These businesses take a few months to get going, really. So yeah, I absolutely love that, and that might be a bigger part of my business this time next year. I really don't know. If it isn't, then it isn't. It might be something else. It might be the fact that I'm going, I might go part-time cryptocurrency if I can build that up to a part-time income, and I do eBay and cryptocurrency or something like that. What I used to do to myself is I would try and think to myself, right, I'm just going to do this for the rest of my life. Like, I always thought to myself when I found reselling, oh yeah, I'm just going to be a reseller for the rest of my life. I never say to myself, I never try and force myself down one road nowadays. I always try and let the journey take its course and see where I'm going to end up. I don't try and force myself with anything, because if I do that, then I'm not going to be happy in what I'm doing. So anyway, I'll look in the chat because I've really ignored the chat there. We've got Sean in, we've got M Parker in, we've got Caroline from Celtic Traders, working on a thumbnail but will be listening. I absolutely love working on thumbnails now. Oh, and I apologise about yesterday, right? I was really annoyed because I didn't realise, right, in that thumbnail I did buy my ebook now or whatever, that was meant to be a satirical joke. Or is that right? Satirical? I think I'm saying that right. Anyway, it was meant to be a satirical joke on the kind of attitude, and also that first bit. I'm not going to apologise for the first bit because I think that actual sequence was pretty good, and I don't care if other people don't think it's good. I was happy with that sequence, but I do want to apologise if the thumbnail itself in particular was a little bit clickbaity. I wasn't meaning it to be. It was meant to be a satirical joke along with the actual sequence that was kind of playing on those kind of people who maybe sell these ebooks kind of thing. It was just a sort of kind of a jokey thumbnail in that way, but I didn't mean it to be clickbait directly. I don't particularly like doing clickbait, but on hindsight, on looking back at that thumbnail, I do actually kind of think it was clickbait, so I apologise about that if that annoyed people, you know. I don't think it did annoy anyone, but I just wanted to get that out there to make, you know, to make you aware that I didn't mean it in that way, but it kind of came out in that way. But still, I'm happy with that little segment at the start of the video. It's pretty funny, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it, so I'm glad that people enjoyed it. And as I've said, I have got comedy shorts coming. I've completely wrote them all. I've said this week on Thursday Talks. I'm waiting for my friend to get back from uni, and I'm waiting for another couple of people who I can kind of rope together, because it's going to have to be, there's going to have to be a few people in these comedy shorts. It's not going to be, I'm not going to be able to do it on my own. I'm not going to be able to do it with even one or two of us. It's going to have to be 4 or 5 people. So, yeah, I've got to kind of rope that together and sort that. But once I've tied up those loose ends, and we can get on with the filming, and I can get on with the editing side of it, because the editing takes quite a while. But once I've got that done, we can get them out. It'll be a full series. Well, it'll be like 3 or 4 episodes, something like that. And I'm going to market it. I've got a name in mind. I'm going to do a trailer for it and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it will be definitely in the next few months, 2 or 3 months. I'd say 3 months maximum I'd like it to be. But hopefully maybe 2 months, maybe like August time. I think that's right. Is that right? Yeah, we're in June now, aren't we? So about August time. So yeah, look forward to that if you do like the comedy shorts. Right, I'll just quickly go down the chat. We jumped again. Which version of Photoshop did you buy at? I'm not answering that question because I'm going to get done by someone if I answer that question. I'm thinking of giving merch by Amazon a go. It's a pretty expensive piece of software. Yes, it is. But there are places on the internet, I'll just say this, there are places on the internet where it's not that expensive, let's say. But you'll have to dig into that yourself. Search it on YouTube or something. But that's all I'm going to say, because I'll probably get done or something. So, anyway, Amazon are massive on their fees. I believe they are changing the old rules again for this Q4. Regarding selling toys, oh no. What? So, basically, this is what I was thinking with Amazon FBA as well. Like, are they going to clamp down again? You know, this is the problem. Like, I'm ungated for a lot of things that other people, you know, new sellers to FBA. If you join Amazon FBA right now, you can't sell Lego. I don't even think you can sell any toys or the majority of the toy in the majority of the toy category. They're actually gated off for most new sellers. Whereas for me, I think I actually got grandfathered in with, along with, you know, the older FBA sellers or people who've been doing it a few years, let's say. So I was very lucky, but what I'm thinking is, because I'm not selling a huge volume on Amazon FBA at the moment, is that going to affect me come Christmas? And are you know, like these new rules that you're saying, are they going to affect me and then gate me off anyway at Christmas or something? So I am a bit worried, but it's all kind of speculation, it's all ifs and stuff like that, so I've just got to roll with it. Whatever happens, happens. You know, at worst, I'm going to have to just liquidate the stock I've got on eBay and get a little bit of money out of it, but not as much as I'd hoped for. You know, like, you know, I'd make a bit of profit, but not as much. But to be honest, I've gone pretty heavy into Speed Champions, Lego Speed Champions. And that was a good decision at the time last year when a lot of those sets were retiring, because they're doing pretty well at the moment. I've also got other sets that are doing pretty well as an investment. So it's not so bad. I think that my plan of going for retiring sets has kind of worked out so far so good on most of them. So I think that I should be okay even on eBay. You know, the price will have increased sufficiently on eBay, but it's not going to be that Amazon FBA level, so yeah. Anyway, right, where are we? Let's go down a bit. Gorgeous sent, well packaged, highly recommended. Neutral feedback left. Oh, you know what? That's so annoying when we give you a neutral for something like that. It's obviously like they've just pressed the wrong oh, what do you call it, little wrong option or something. But yeah, that is really annoying. I think I've had a 1 or 2 neutrals for that. I had a neutral once, and I think it just said okay or something like that, and that was a bit annoying because you think, why? Why do people? I understand why someone does a negative for most, most circumstances. I understand why they do a positive, but why a neutral? Like, okay, yeah, is it like exactly in between? It just, surely something has got to be positive or negative. I mean, in the human mind, something's got to be like wrong or right. Surely there's not like a weird middle ground. I've always thought, in terms of humans, we always think of things either negatively or positively. You might have a day where you might think quite neutrally about the day, but surely 99.9% of the time, your day is either fairly positive, you've got a fairly positive outlook on the day, or a negative one. I mean, I wake up, like, in the day, I might be bipolar or something, I don't know, maybe that's why, but, like, I'll wake up in the day and I'll feel quite positive in the day, which is most days, and then occasionally, like everyone, there'll be a day I'll wake up and I'm not feeling so good, I'm not feeling so in the zone, let's say, but I wouldn't really wake up in the morning and be, like, completely neutral. I'll feel some sort of level of positivity or negativity. I'd sway one way or the other, but I suppose it's just some people would just put okay, just because it is, like, just okay. I don't know, it's weird, though. You would, if you think something's okay, you would think they'd just go that extra step and just put the positive on there, but maybe it's just me having a moan, I don't know. Right then, there we go. Let's go down the chat, because I've probably missed a load out, so I apologise. Lex Oliver says, never apologise, ads. No, I don't like leaving, I don't like just leaving something, open-ended. I like to set, like, what do you call it, like, you close something off, you close the doors to something and then you move on or whatever. That's what I kind of like to do. I think a lot of people kind of like to do that, but no, I didn't need to apologise. It wasn't a major thing or anything, but I just wanted to let people know that I was feeling, I didn't particularly feel like that was something I was trying to do or trying to push. It just kind of happened. Right then, don't worry, Ad. People who know you, well, you know. Know you well? Or well you know? I don't know. Well know you? Well know you? Oh god, I can't. Oh my god, my brain's fried from reading that. I don't even know. Jamie's in. Hi there, Jamie. We've got Stephen in. Hi there. Peter looks like he is back. Yes, he's back. Michelle says, watching you while I'm sorting out my cupboard of shame, trying to label tubs so I can be more organised, driving me crazy. I know, isn't it? It's terrible, all these. I mean, I have it. I have loads of. I mentioned in the video yesterday, I think I was talking about the fact that, I have a lack of unorganisation. It's just things are everywhere, and you get to a point where you've got some organisation and you think, yeah, it's great, it's going well, and then you get a load more stuff through the door from wherever it is, car boots, charity shops, auctions, whatever, and then you just get it all over again. You think, oh great, I've got to sort all this kind of thing, and you're putting it all, you're putting it all into sections nicely, or you're trying to get some sort of organisation, and then it happens again, and you're like, oh damn, if only I could get some sort of organisation. But that was kind of what I was saying in the video yesterday, to try and keep things off the floor, because that has been such a major thing for me. Just, if anything gets on the floor, that's it. Like, even if it's just a few items on the floor, I will, it must be something to do with my personality type, but I will just leave them there, and then it'll just grow, and then I'll just add to the pile, and then it'll just come into this massive pile. Sorry if you just heard a random beep, that was my Amazon merch signing me out. I don't like it. It always seems to sign me out. I don't know why. Amazon merch will, like, stay on, well, with Pretty Merch, actually, it'll stay on, like, on your desktop for, like, 20 minutes or something, and then it'll sign you out. It's, like, really annoying, because you have to sign back in every 20 minutes. And when you're doing designs, it's really annoying like that. But I think they do kind of save themselves, because I don't think I've had an issue with it. I think when I've logged back in, they have kind of been saved. Or maybe I've just been lucky and I clicked save before I logged out or something. So yeah, where are we in the chat? I think I've done all that. Yeah, looks like it. Oh my god, I'm actually at the bottom of the chat. I don't think I've been at the bottom of the chat for ages. That is incredible. That's awesome. I don't know, is there less people in today? Maybe that's the reason. 31, yeah, maybe a little less than usual, but not masses less, so... Yeah, anyway, I can't believe I'm at the bottom of the chat. That's awesome. So yeah, anyway, the topic, I've not even really got onto that yet. So if you don't enjoy it, try something new. What do I actually mean by that? Like, what is this kind of... What's this kind of thing of, if you don't enjoy it, try something new? Well, basically, what I'm talking about is... And it maybe is for more of the new resellers, but if you don't enjoy reselling, or whatever it is, when I first started reselling, it was hard for me. It was like, it was hard to do reselling, because reselling is hard. It's hard to go out and get stock. It's hard to build a business right from the sort of ground up. But at the same time as it being hard, it was very, very exciting for me, and it was very, very enjoyable. It was really a great experience. I was getting these items. I was making so little profit margins on them. It was embarrassing, but I loved it. I was getting these items. I was mainly getting board games, books, that sort of stuff, and I would you know, get them in. I'd check the board games. I'd put them on my photo area, or the little makeshift photo area I had, and then I'd snap pictures, and I would vastly undersell my items because I didn't have a clue of pricing. But I would get those sales in, and I'd make a quid profit on an item or something like that, maybe even less, maybe even a loss on a couple of my first items. I don't even know at this point, but yeah, I would do that, and I'd get that enthusiasm, and you get these ka-chings, and it'd be brilliant, and you just get on and do it, and then you'd have more enthusiasm once you're getting more sales. But the thing is, and you can tell again in my voice, you know, a minute ago I had a bit of a negative connotation or tone to my voice. Now I've got more of a positive tone to my voice. That's the difference, kind of thing, between maybe my Amazon FBA at the moment and my eBay. You can tell in my voice, you know, that maybe I have a little bit more passion for my eBay at the moment. But yeah, so I would get those ka-chings. It'd be very, very positive, very, very exciting. But if that isn't there when you start eBay, if that sort of positive kind of vibe isn't there, yes, it's going to be hard work. It always is. But if that kind of positivity or that excitement isn't there, you know, over maybe, I don't want to give it a time period, because it's going to be different for everyone. But if you're not really getting excited, and I've seen recently on a few of the groups that people are getting frustrated, and this is new resellers. They're getting frustrated about the fact maybe they can't find stock, or maybe, you know, they're not getting sales through and all this sort of stuff. But if there's not that level of excitement there, certainly for the first few months or whatever, I'm not going to give it a complete specific timescale, but for the first few months, then don't try and force that positivity. Don't try and force that enjoyment out of it. Just move on. Just try something else. Everyone will say to you, you know, persist in eBay, keep going, keep going, keep going. But the fact of the matter is, only keep going with it if you enjoy it. If there's a base desire there to keep going and to really go for it and enjoy it and make some money, and, you know, the love of getting these items in and maybe cleaning them, testing them, getting them out the door and giving them a new home, maybe repurposing them, or whatever it is, if there's not that base level of enjoyment or excitement from doing that, then maybe don't keep going. Maybe try something new. And I'm not saying this to at all put anyone off reselling. I'm not saying this at all to say, you know, you should quit reselling. That's not what I'm saying at all. I know it's kind of a fine line when I'm talking about this, that it could seem like I'm saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you really don't enjoy something, there's no point trying to force it. It's the same. And I'm going to go back to my merch, because that's what I've been doing over the last few weeks. So it's something I can really relate to. And it's something that I'm beginning at again, just like the start of my eBay journey. So with my Amazon merch, it's exactly like the start of my eBay journey, where I was really enthusiastic. I've been getting a couple of sales here and there on merch, and those sales have been like a drug. It's been so good. I've been so enthusiastic about it. So I think that if something is like that when you're starting it, then that is the right way to be, and that's gonna help you keep going because you enjoy it, you're passionate about it. And that's what, in the business of being self-employed, that's got to take some priority. Having enjoyment and passion for it alongside making money and, you know, actually paying the bills or getting a business or up and running to a point where it can sustain you and a few other people, let's say, or, you know, a family or whatever. So it's if you've not got that level of enjoyment, like I have with merch, you know, starting merch, or I have with eBay, then maybe try something different. Maybe not, you know, you don't have to go on to something completely different. Maybe eBay isn't quite your thing within reselling. So instead of doing eBay, you try FBA, or you try Amazon Merch, or you try Spock, or you try local selling sites, or something like that. You don't have to quit something as, you know, as an entire kind of subject. You don't have to quit reselling or anything like that if you're not enjoying eBay. There's other ways to do reselling, but just know that if you haven't got that level of enjoyment at the start, then is it really gonna just magically come over time? The fact is, and I'll tell you this through what I've gone through, I still enjoy my reselling, but it's a lot more mundane now compared to 3 years ago when I started. When I look at a sale on my phone, even if it's a 30-40 quid sale, I don't get as excited as when I started. Yet when I started, $6.99 sales were giving me crazy levels of excitement, more excitement than £30 sales are giving me now. So if you haven't got that level of excitement at the start, it's probably fair to say that you're not going to just magically get that excitement 1 year, 2 years, 3 years on, or maybe even longer. So you've got to have that base level of enthusiasm that'll keep you going, that'll keep you can keep putting logs on the fire kind of thing. And when you get 2, 3, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, although it might feel still less exciting, there's still moments that will fuel that base level of excitement because that was there from the start. So I just wanted to kind of mention that. And I know a lot of people say just keep going, keep grinding, keep hustling, keep getting it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. And there's nothing wrong with saying it's not for you. For me personally, I don't think eBay or Amazon or reselling is for me on a full-time basis. I would like to do it alongside something else. So I'd be full-time self-employed, but I would do something else alongside my reselling. And I haven't yet found that. I mean, maybe Amazon Merch, maybe investments or cryptocurrency or something like that. But I don't know whether I've really completely found that. But I don't think, you know, if I'm being honest with myself, I don't think reselling full-time would be where I want to be forever. You know, I'd like to do something part-time alongside it. Now, does that mean to say being self-employed or being an entrepreneur is ever going to go away from me, or is something that I'm not going to do forever? I actually think I am going to be self-employed. That is going to be the one consistent thing, is I will be self-employed for the majority of my life. Maybe there might be times I might have to go into employment, I don't know. But for the majority of my life, I will be self-employed. And I just feel that. I feel that, like, deep down, I know that I'm going to find new ways. I'm going to try my very best to keep doing what I want to do, to strive to be earning an income for myself. Because I absolutely love being able to say that, you know, any money I earn, I've, like, earned that for myself, if you know what I mean. Compared to maybe, you know, some people in a job might feel that, or some, you know, maybe bosses or whatever, you might go to a job and you'll basically earn that money and it goes towards the company or whatever. So I like to kind of think that because being self-employed, it gives me that kind of just satisfaction of earning that money and it comes straight to me. So I really like that, and I feel that I am going to be that kind of person, or be self-employed for the majority of my life, but it might not be reselling. So it's always worth just being honest with yourself and thinking to yourself, right, what do I really want to do? Do I have enthusiasm for this? Where am I going to take this? All this sort of stuff, because those questions will help determine what you're truly passionate about. And if you can get to be truly, you know, if you can find what you're truly passionate about, doesn't matter what age you are, if you're 60, if you're 80, if you're 15, whenever it is, if you can find what you're truly passionate about, then go for it. You know, just go for it, because that's going to be the thing that you're going to stick with for the longest. So, yeah, I'll leave it there anyway, because that's like a proper ramble. So, click the like button, 26 of you. 26. Why is there 26 people in? I'm listening while listing. I need to get listing, you know. I've really not been listing very much. Yeah, I've been slacking on my eBay, if I'm honest. I've not been... There's been days where I've not been doing listings. I mean, normally I would do 5 to 6 days a week I would list. And I'm not saying big numbers. I always... You know, I've always said this on Thursday Talks, I generally do about 10 a day. So, you know, 5 or 6 days a week. Sometimes a little bit more. There might be a day I might do 15 in a week. You know, in one day within the week. And there might be one day I might even hit 20. I mean, I think a couple of weeks ago I did like 25 in a day. So that was really, really good for me. But that was because I was having a listing challenge, actually. And that's a really good point, actually. Try and do listing challenges with people. Not all the time, but because if you do a listing challenge all the time, I actually did a 3-week listing challenge with someone, or 2 or 3 week listing challenge, and it just declined over time. Like, you wouldn't care as much over, you know, 2 weeks into a listing challenge, you're just like, well, I don't care anymore. Whereas if you just do a 1-day listing challenge with someone, maybe once every couple of weeks, you'll have a lot more enthusiasm, because you'll think, right, I'm gonna get loads of pictures done, I'm gonna beat them, and it's just on this one single day, so I've only got 24 hours to do this. So you feel a lot more motivated, whereas if you're doing it over a period of a week or 2 weeks, you just kind of run out of steam a little bit. That's what I found anyway. So, and also I think a good point with listing challenges is do it with different people. So don't just say, oh, would you like a listing challenge for one person, and just do a listing challenge with them for every week for a year. Don't do that, because you'll get into that kind of routine with it. And listing challenges are best and the most productive when you're thrown out of your routine, when you're thinking, oh my god, I've got to get what I can done, because they're on my tails, or they're on my tail, or they're already way above me in listings today, so I've got to really get my head down. So yeah, I think if you do it with different people, I mean, you could do it with if you have 52 reselling friends, or 52 resellers that you know from the groups, or, you know, you chat with on Facebook, do it one person a week for an entire year. You know, you don't have to schedule it. You don't have to say to people like, oh, well, you're coming in at week 51, which is 51 weeks from now or whatever. But, you know, over time you can sort of say, right, would you like to do a listing challenge this week or whatever, and you just say it to a different person each week, and maybe that would work, because it is some sort of routine in terms of you doing a listing challenge every week, but you're doing it with someone different, and I think that really does help your motivation. So yeah, I think I need to do a few more listing challenges with people in the future and get back onto it with my eBay. I've got an auction on the 26th as well, so I'm really trying to consciously make the effort to buy as much as I can from that auction, because it's a quality auction. I get the best stuff from there from out of any of the other auctions. So I think even if I'm paying up a little bit, it's worth it, because there's always something in the bottom of those boxes that, you know, is a £20 or £30 item, maybe even more. So I've always found that from this auction house. Like in almost every box, there's something, no matter how little or how big, there's something that I've not seen that's given me even more added profit. So I think, yeah, I've got to go in hard at that auction and try and get plenty of stuff, and then I can proper have good listing challenges with people, because I've got plenty of stuff from that auction and then following auctions as well. So I've rambled a little bit, so I'll go into the chat. I'm sorry if I'm missing anyone out. I've lost the end of the chat again. I had it for about 2 minutes and then it had gone. Question, Lex Oliver. Ads, what would you like to try in life that you haven't tried yet? Oh, that's a good question. That's quite a what's the word? Not philosophical. Well, I suppose it is a bit philosophical. Like a spiritual kind of question, I suppose. What would you like to try that you haven't tried already? God, it's so hard. I would probably... I have a lot of kind of... I have so many goals that that question is somewhat irrelevant because there's so many things I like to do that I would want to do. I can't even hone it down to one, but I'll just tell you on a more broad sense, I suppose. I have some goals with what I would like to do in comedy, in terms of the comedy shorts and things like that. I would like to do, I would like to have like a production company and stuff like that, and do some sort of more professional videos with the comedy shorts. But it's not really something I would try. If I'm thinking like, if there's something I would like to try that I haven't tried yet, I'm kind of thinking about food or something like that. That's the way my brain is going down. So if I was thinking something I haven't tried that I would like to try in terms of food, it's very, very hard. But I would probably like to try something that is, maybe a few more fish dishes that I might feel I like. I did try sushi, and I actually, it was alright. I mean, I wouldn't say it was really, really good. I didn't really enjoy it, but I didn't think it was terribly bad either. But yeah, so I've tried sushi. I would quite like to try and I am thinking about this for, I do my kind of birthday challenges. I am thinking about next year. I've actually found a site where you can get like a bush tucker trial type thing of like critters and edible insects and all that sort of stuff. So I have kind of thought about doing that. But then again, I wouldn't say I'd like to try that because it's not something I want to try. It's just something I want to do to say I've done it kind of thing. So yeah, it's very hard. I'm not kind of one of these people who would really like to do bungee jumping or jumping out of a plane. Or I suppose maybe a hot air balloon would be quite cool and I could probably do that. But I don't really have any major ambition to jump out of a plane or do anything like that. I mean, going to space would be cool, but that's something like that's way out of most people, 99.9% of people's realm of possibility, really. Although you never know, in 50 years' time when I'm older, it might be more common to go into space with these like zero gravity flights or something. So that would be something that would be cool. Another thing that I would like to try is like something to do with Doctor Who, but I'm not too sure. Like maybe some sort of like not fan fiction as in a book, but maybe do like some sort of fan sequence in terms of a video. So I would do kind of like a comedy short for reselling, but for Doctor Who. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you look up on YouTube the 5 Who fans, they do like that kind of stuff that I'm thinking of. And in one way I actually found the 5 Who fans after I started doing the comedy shorts. But in one way they have kind of inspired me to keep doing the comedy shorts, because the level of professionalism they've got is probably a few notches above the professionalism I've got. It's not like really, really professional, high quality standard, complete, TV quality standard, but it's still a few notches above where I want to be. So it maybe comes from that a little bit. I would like to do kind of a little bit of a Doctor Who sketch type thing. Yeah, well, sketch is a better word actually. But other than that, I mean, the other thing in terms of getting pets, I would really, really like a parrot. But that's not something I've tried, so it doesn't really come into the question that much. But I would really like a parrot, like the one Pete Craigslist Hunter's got. I think he's got a scarlet macaw or something like that. I've always found, I don't know why, but I've always found it, like, having a parrot so cool, just such a cool thing to, just such a cool pet to have. So I would really like a parrot, but I don't know. Anyway, is that enough for you? Is that enough rambling for you? Has ads had to jump out of the way of a tractor yet? No, I haven't had to jump out of the way of a tractor. Is ads still answering my question? Yes, I am. You see, on this channel, we give really, really in-depth answers. I go really deep into these answers. It's not like one of these other channels where you get maybe 5 seconds or one of these channels where you have to do a super chat to have your question answered. Oh my god, don't get me started on those channels, right, where they make it a requirement, right, that we will not answer your question in the live feed if you do not give us a super chat within like the question. Don't get me started. If anyone ever starts doing that, I will. Well, anyway, but I'm never gonna start doing that. Just by the way, but that annoys me. I don't know who it was I was watching, but basically they outright ignore anyone in the chat unless they've given them a super chat. It's absolutely ridiculous, you know. Anyway, so what was I saying? Because I've lost my point now. Sorry. Oh, where are we? Oh no, I forgot where we are. Oh, oh, it looks like Nick's having lunch. Ham, cheese, and mayo sandwiches here. Crispy, all bread and butter. Oh, Chelsea Rooney's in. Hi there. You've got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. What is going on in that chat? That's the weirdest message then. Changing lives is the best one, but not sure how much longer it will be open. Few things behind the scenes going on in there. Changing lives. Oh, is that the charity shop? Yeah, one of those closed in my local town actually. Where are we? I'm just going up the chat a little bit, so I apologise if I'm just randomly staring at the screen. What day is it? Sibk says it's Thursday, isn't it? I had to think then as well. Right, let me see. I can't really see any other questions, although I might be missing some, so I apologise if I am. But it's mainly people saying hi. Little and Alf, I think that's how you pronounce it. Hi there. John Bleddy's in. Hi there. Gemma Lou, I believe you were in earlier on, so that's cool. I'm probably going to double up on hellos now, but I'm just seeing if there's anyone else in. No, it doesn't look like. Right, we'll get on. So yeah, I think that's everything in the chat, so that's pretty cool. Has to be proper English mustard though, Nick. Oh, what have you got? Are we going on about lunch again? What even was the question? I don't even know. It's a bad day when your lunch injures you. Oh my god. Question. Why the field? The field. Good question, Nick, actually. I'll put it on me, because I'll have to see the field. I like seeing the field. This field is basically down the back of my house. And, not every day, but most days for the last, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years, maybe even, probably longer than that. Yeah, probably longer than that. 10 years, 15 years, something like that. I don't even know. But I've walked down that road quite a lot. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. I've walked down this road that you can see. I can't even do it with my finger, but this road here, I've walked down. It goes like, I can't even do it with my finger. It goes like further down that way. Sorry, the camera's like, you know how the camera is? It goes, don't know how to explain this, but it's like the reverse angle on the camera. So when I'm pointing that way, I'm actually pointing that way. But anyway, I can't even explain it. But yeah, so I've walked down this road. So I picked a really nice sunny day, and I took a little photo. And yeah, it kind of brings another. It kind of brings again a little bit more of myself into the background and into Thursday Talks, and it's special to me, this road, because I've walked down it so many times and I know it so well, and full of childhood memories and summer bike rides and all that sort of stuff, and going blackberry picking as well on this road. So many different things. I think there was actually a cow that got let loose on this road, or around this road anyway, at one time, and we ended up basically like chasing it on a bike. I don't know whether it was this exact road, but it was one around here, you know, back down the back of the house. So yeah, it's just very, very special to me. So thought, yeah, why not? I'll have it on Thursday Talks. Ads can now do the weather. I know someone said, as soon as I got the green screen, someone was like, oh, are you going to do the weather now? I think it was like Chris. No, I don't think it was Crispy, actually, but I don't know who it was. I can't remember. Question, Ads, what's your fave song to do karaoke? And can you give us a few bars? My favourite song is Lola. I'm getting it wrong again. My favourite karaoke song is not Lola by, although I never knew what those lyrics of that song meant until a few months ago. Lola by the Kinks, but that isn't the song. The song I really like for karaoke is Copacabana. You know, her name is Lola. She is a showgirl with yellow feathers in her hair and a dress cut down to there. She would merengue and do the cha-cha. And while she tried to be a star, Tony always tended bar across the crowded floor. They worked from 8 till 4. They were young and they had each other. Who could ask for more at the Copa? Anyway, you get it, I know all the words off by heart, yes. Laugh at me. Right, so that's that. Question: if you were limited to selling just one thing for the rest of your life, what would the item? What item would you sell? It would be Lego minifigures, hands down. Lego minifigures, brass items. Yeah, Lego minifigures would be the first. Brass items would be the second. Because brass items are very easy. I don't clean brass items. I just whack them on the photo area. Well, I mean, if they're a bit dusty, I'll give them like a... I don't know, I'm trying... Well, here's a cloth, so if you... I'll just flick onto me again. There we go, right. So, I'll just give them a little wipe with a cloth. This is actually an antibacterial cloth, so I wouldn't do it with this, but... Because I did some brass or some metalware with this one time, like ages ago when I was first getting into brass, and I don't think it does very good because I think it's like the chemical in it stimulates the brass or something in some sort of way. Anyway, I don't use these anymore, but I would just give it like a wipe with just a clean cloth or whatever, just to get any dust off, but I wouldn't clean it like... you know, with polish. I don't know what it is. Is it called Brasso or something like that? I wouldn't clean it with that. I wouldn't, you know, I just leave it how it is in the natural state because some people like the patina, other people don't like it. So yeah, but that is an actual antibacterial wipe. So yeah, I don't do them with them anymore, but I did do when I first got into selling metalware. But I wouldn't do them with them now because, as I say, if I remember rightly, I don't think it particularly did good for the brass. I don't know what I saw on the brass when I was cleaning it that made me think, oh, this is probably not right, but something happened anyway. I think it reacted with it or something. Does the field behind your house change every season, quarter? No, we're not. Oh, God, I tell you. No, we're not getting into that, Sib K. Great footy song like Three Lions. The X Factor flag. Why, was I good? Was that actually pretty good? Like... Was I actually pretty good at singing? That was improvised. I wasn't, you know, if I really tried, I could do it better than that. I'm not going to do it now again, but if I really tried, I could probably do it better than that. But was I actually pretty good? Because that would be pretty cool. But no, I like that. Basically, when I was younger, I hung around with a group of friends. Well, I say friends. You could argue it as a little bit of bullying, let's say, but... although it made me the person I am today, so I can't really, you know, argue with that point in my life, but I hung around with a few people who, you know, as I say, some of them might have been constituted or something, you know, sort of named a little bit of bullies, but they basically made me do random things, like, just for a laugh. I was basically like, one of those, you know, like those dancing bears, the horrible thing we do with the dancing bears, and like put something in the nose. I was basically as bad as one of those, you know, and as bad as like someone doing that to me, kind of thing, you know, making me dance or whatever. But anyway, that's besides the point. I would sing that, you know, and would make me sing it all the time, like every day I would sing it. And obviously when you're singing something every day, you get to know the words off by heart, and you get to actually like the song quite a lot. So I already did like the song, and I introduced it to them by singing it to them, and then they started making me sing it day after day after day. That was not the worst thing they did, trust me, but you know, to constitute them as bullies, that would not be completely bullying or anything, but that was no way near the worst thing we did. But yeah, that was one of the things they made me do. So I also had to basically, I was watching like The Walking Dead or something at the time, or some sort of zombie thing. Anyway, I don't get on well with gore or horror or anything, but basically I had the funny idea of turning into a zombie, just to get a reaction, basically, because that's the person I've always been in school. Like, I would do things to spark a reaction, whether it be good or bad. I mean, most of the time it would be just weird, crazy stuff to see what people would react like. You know, maybe it was kind of a pathetic attempt at comedy, I don't know. But I would turn into this like zombie, and I'd fall to the floor and I'd shake myself like this. It was actually pretty cool. And then I would like go around like a zombie and like chase after people. Anyway, so they used to get me to do that like every day as well in summer. It was so annoying, but and then one time, because I was doing it on hard concrete floor, I was like flipping around like a fish out of water, and I whacked my blooming head on the floor. It really hurt. Like, I think it was like under my eye here or something, but oh god, that was terrible. Anyway, the things I've done, some of the things are not fit for YouTube, but I'll tell you those too, free of charge. That's what you get on my channel. You don't get any factual information. And these were friends, I know, yeah. Well, we had some great times. I mean, you could say it was kind of like a gang, like, I don't want to go as far to say Mafia, because it was nothing like that, but it was like, you know, when you're in a gang and like you all look out for each other, but there's that kind of alpha and beta male kind of rivalry. Well, I was like the lowest down on the food chain, because I was like beaten into, not physically, but I was like beaten in, well, sometimes a little bit physically, but that was just like play fighting, and I actually liked the play fighting, to be honest, but I didn't actually get beaten down physically. What I meant is, you know, emotionally, you're like beaten down the food chain in terms of the order of people within the group. So you're a gang and it's all fun and games, but at the same time there's this kind of little within the gang rivalry type thing. So I didn't want to get involved in that. I wanted to play the smart card, and I established myself for, well, I tried to basically get beaten down the food chain so that then I could have a little bit more of an easier time. But it didn't kind of work, because then I was just people's plaything. So if you're ever in a group and you're like that, and it is a bit like kind of a bit weird, or a bit I don't know, a little bit kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's not completely got, it's not like a friendship, it's more of like a gang mentality. Don't just get beaten down to the bottom of the food chain, because you're not going to have the best time of it. But it was still, we had some great times, we really had some great times, some of which I can't really talk about on YouTube, but we had some brilliant times. Like, it was great, but there was like a side to it that was just annoying as well. But it was, yeah, these are the kind of things that you look back on in 50 years and you think, you know what, if I had the choice to do it again, I would do it again, you know. But anyway, I've had all sorts in my past, you know, 10 years or so. Mafia. No, it wasn't like the Mafia. It wasn't that bad. That was the wrong word. But what I was trying to say is, it's like the Mafia, but not the Mafia. Like, I mean, it's like a child version. It's like watching, oh, what is it like? It's like watching, what's like a program? You know, like a child's program. It's like watching a group of children trying to be a little bit gangster or mafia, you know. And we'd always have like we'd have the songs blasting out of like a Beats pill, and it'd all be like, you know, marijuana songs and all that sort of like, you know, trap music and fetty wap or whatever it is called. So, you know, we kind of, you think you're gangster, or you think you're mafioso, and it's not really, you're not really that at all. But that's what I was trying to imply with, you know, getting that point across. It was kind of like a hollowed version of that kind of thing. Or anyway, I don't know, but it's funny. Ads, please stop. This is worse than a TV Children in Need fundraiser. I know, isn't it? Seriously, these lads need so. Oh, it's fine. See, the thing is though, this is the way I look at life. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like, I wouldn't be here where I am today. Like, if I didn't associate myself with those people, I would go off and I would get a new group of people, and that might send my life in a completely different direction. I might have then got a job. I might not have done the things to, you know, basically get me to where I am now, you know, to make myself a reseller. I massively believe in like this kind of butterfly effect, that one single choice then has a knock-on effect for the rest of your life. But you can only actually see that looking back, you know, looking back after the end of your life, or, you know, near the end of your life. You can only actually analyse that fully and think, oh, well, if I hadn't have actually done that, that wouldn't have led me to do this, which then in turn wouldn't have led me to do this kind of thing. So, you know, you've got to be honest with yourself in terms of the fact that, you know, it's if I didn't hang around those people, I wouldn't be here. So, and if I wouldn't be here, then I would probably be a bit more unhappy than I am here. So, I can't ever just say to myself I wouldn't like to do that, or I shouldn't have been in that situation, kind of thing. But that was only one part of my life that. You know, there's been so many different versions of myself, and I like to call them versions of myself because they are, you know, I am very, very different in this version of myself than I was 5 years ago, and I'll be very, very different in 5-10 years time. I'll be a completely, almost regenerated version of myself, you know, linking it to Doctor Who again, but yeah. Right then, Nick, when are you on with a guest? I think Nick's on tonight, is he? Not sure, Sue. Nothing planned yet. Not had a minute. So I'm guessing not tonight. I don't know. As long as you're happy now, I am very happy now. I was happy back then. It wasn't bad. It was just a lively experience, let's say. Anyway, I'm not gonna. I'm glad camera phones weren't around in the 90s. What do you mean 90s? I would have been 4 in 2000. I'm not like 30 years old or 35 years old. So, yeah, camera phones were around, and there is videos. Well, actually, there probably is videos out there. It might even be on my old YouTube channel. I don't know. Yeah, I think there might be a couple of videos on my old YouTube channel about, like, well, not like, there's a few videos of the group. There's not really any videos of, like, the, let's say, slightly more rough times that we had or whatever. So I don't think, but there are certainly videos of the group on YouTube, so you could probably see them on, what's it called, Those Two Men, my old channel is, if you want to check it out. Karen, geez, can you imagine our kids looking up the S we got up to? Exactly. Oh, I meant for us ads. Oh, right, okay. I thought I'm not that old. I wasn't like 12 in the 90s or anything. Well, not that you're. I didn't mean that. Oh God, I'm just digging myself a hole here, aren't I? Anyway, ads. Now wrong with being cough the other side of 30. Yeah, I know. I'm digging myself a hole here. What am I doing? Terrible. Heck no, didn't do anything to hurt or harm people, but geez, would have been mad. So ads, let's get this right. I met my husband not long after you were born. Yeah, well, I was born in 96, so I don't know when you met your husband, but probably similar time, I don't know. My mum and dad were married in 88, so that always, because I always remember 88 because 88 was the time, the year that the £1 note went out of circulation. I think it was around the same time as my mum and dad got married, actually, within the same year, you know, like the same month or around the same month. So I always, you know, I always kind of associate that year with my mum and dad getting married, and obviously the pound note. And there's a few other things that happened in that year as well. There is something else that happened in 88 that I really like. Or was it 87? Might have been 87. I think I'm thinking of Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel. That was 87, I think. Anyway, we'll get off in a few minutes because it's nearly been the hour. So I remember 88, good year. Anyone else here a 70s kid? I am definitely not a 70s kid. We've established that. No, but yeah, what I swear there was something else that happened in 88 that I remember it for, but I don't know. I would have loved to live like, I'd say like if I was born, basically if I was born the year my dad was born, I would be quite happy because like he was around for, you know, most of the majority of the 70s in terms of, when I say around, I mean like conscious that time happened, because if you were born in like 1975, you can't really remember that much from 1977, can you, or 1976, because you're only like 1 or 2, but yeah, he was like around consciously for the majority, for all the 70s and obviously the 80s, and there was some cracking songs in the 80s. It's just such a cool time. Like, I just love electronic music. I love like all the new wave stuff. I love a lot of the later 70s stuff, like you know, the disco kind of stuff. I love all that. There was great movies in the late 70s, 80s. It was such a good time. it does annoy me that I didn't get to see it, but it's kind of just you live in your time, and I suppose the thing is that everyone kind of feels like this from time to time, where you think, oh, I wish I would have lived in that time, but then that makes you forget the time that you've got now. So I think it's best that you don't kind of fantasize about times gone by, and you actually realize what you've got in this time. Like, for example, what we've got compared to the 80s or the 90s is much more advanced technology. I mean, I don't think I'd be able to do this, like a home setup like this in the 80s. Well, no, I wouldn't be able to do this because we're on the internet, for God's sake. Anyway, but what I meant was the green screen and stuff. But green screen's been around for a while. I'm pretty sure green screen's been around for like 40 years or something, because I'm pretty sure they used green screen in Planet of the Spiders, like in 73, 74. So 74, I think it was, which is John Pertwee's regeneration story. I'm pretty sure they used green screen in that, and that's what, like 44 years ago now. So yeah, I'm pretty sure green screen's been around for like 50 years or something. But yeah, anyway, 80s and 90s music kick ass. Yeah, it really. I mean, I often listen to 90s playlists and stuff. I absolutely love it. I really like that kind of bubblegum pop kind of vibe. I'm not sure whether that is the exact genre, whether that's the exact title of the genre, but I really like that kind of bubblegum pop or bubblegum dance or whatever it's called, because it's just so cool, you know. And I think there's elements in the 90s, you know, 90s music, there's elements of that kind of 80s, you know, synthesizer or that 80s electronica still in there, and it's just like an evolution. And when you sort of see the evolution from early sort of electronic songs, I think like the earliest electronic song was like late 60s or something, I'm not too sure on that, but I know that Kraftwerk were one of the first. They weren't actually the first, but one of the first, you know, like 1974, 1975, with like Autobahn and Radioactivity. I think Radioactivity was 1975. And then you had the movement of maybe coming into more very late 70s, early 80s with Gary Newman. Then we had Syntho-pop with OMD and all that sort of stuff. And fantastic era with the electronic. And then you see the progression throughout the 80s, where the later 80s you get into more pop, you know, more poppy kind of vibe, with maybe people like, Tiffany and stuff like that. I mean, they're just general pop artists anyway. But I feel like the later half of the 80s was more, you know, sort of that poppy era. And also you had like, I'm not sure when, what was it? Beastie Boys. I'm not sure when they were. I think they were like late 80s or early 90s. And then you had the, you know, the rap, and then obviously late 90s you started to have trap coming through, and I absolutely really love trap music. And obviously a few years ago they then merged it with more EDM, so then you've got trap EDM and all it, and it's so good to see the evolution of music like that. It's just amazing to see that, you know, from 70s to now of that evolution. And you can actually see it if you actually listen to a broad spectrum of artists, you can actually see that progression from, you know, especially within the electronic sort of era and moving through into the 90s and all. I really do feel like it is some sort of progression. But I always feel like these days I don't know where we're at with music. Like I can't kind of decipher where we're at in this kind of evolution. It just feels like from around maybe 2009, 2010, it feels like we've just sort of plateaued a little bit, and there are bands out there, don't get me wrong, there are great bands out there, but the bands that are great aren't as well known as the more poppy bands that are in the charts and stuff. So maybe it's kind of music is evolving, but on the kind of down low within these kind of indie bands, or these bands that are maybe not as popular. Maybe that's where the music scene is still constantly evolving, and I'm really excited to see what it is like in 10 years, 20 years, you know, over that sort of time period. And I hope I kind of keep up with it and see where this kind of evolution is going to go in the future. But anyway, I'll leave it there. I could ramble about this all Beastie Boys made it big around the end of the, yeah, I was thinking about that, but I wasn't sure whether it was like, you know, just sort of early 90s. I didn't know whether they caught the tail end of the 80s. But yeah, I like Beastie Boys. They're pretty cool. I like Intergalactic, and I like oh, what's the other ones? What's that really good? Body Moving. I like Body Moving. There's quite a few, but I always forget the titles. You know, I like so many songs that it's impossible for me to remember half of them. Ads. Have a listen to Churches. Very very electronic retro sound, but with epic tunes and lyrics. They're not. That's not the same church. Oh no. I'm getting mixed up with Take Me to Church there. No, so that is a different band, isn't it? So yeah, I'll have a look at. So it's Churches with a V. You know what? I'll just type that in, ready for when I leave, because I'll forget otherwise. You know what I'm like? Church. What is it? There we go. Churches. That was on one of your what's it called? One of your listen while you list things, but I didn't click it. Intergalactic was around 97. Oh, that's quite late, isn't it? I like that one, Intergalactic. It's cool. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Damn things we learn about ads. I know. I tell you, I do too much. I do too much thinking on a day-to-day basis. Like there's so much just knowledge in my mind, but it just all kind of blurs into one, you know. There's no organisation, it's just kind of all there, you know, in a mess kind of thing. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, Eurasia, yeah. Now, I think I have heard a few of their tracks, but I've not, that is one band that I've not really looked into massively, but I do think I've heard a few of their tracks because I think my dad was big into Eurasia, so yeah, anyway, I'll leave it there. Everyone's saying bye, so thank you very much for joining me. As always, I will see you next week, and I will have videos coming out. I've got another Amazon merch journey video coming out on Saturday, so yeah, watch that if you would like to keep up with my Amazon merch journey. If you're not necessarily interested in that, don't worry. I will have other reselling related videos, you know, more eBay, Amazon orientated in the next few days as well. Do a sales update, all that sort of stuff. And I will see you very soon, guys. So see you very soon, and thank you very much for watching.